Welcome back. So a few videos ago, we got the gold key by following the dog in Zahan village, and in the video after that, in the village of Burrowell, we got the jailer's key by buying a mystery item. So this video is going to go ahead and focus on opening up all of the doors and chests that were previously inaccessible. So this video, we're going to get a whole bunch of new items. So if you haven't already, go ahead and empty your inventory because you're going to need the space. We're going to get a whole bunch of stat boosting items. We're going to get a couple of sigils. And then we're also going to get some of the legendary items from the first game. So I'm starting off here in Mendenhall. And if you remember at the very beginning of the game, there's this room here with all of these chests, but we couldn't get there because of that gold door. So now that we have the golden key, we can go ahead and make our way in. So, like I said, we're going to get a whole bunch of stat boosting items. We're going to get some nice gold. A random herb that we don't need. And then in this one here, we're going to get the Mark of Erdrick. So if you remember in the first Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior, the Mark of Erdrick or the Seal of Erdrick is also known as Loto Seal. That just kind of signifies that you are the descendant of the legendary hero. So with that, we're now also going to come up here, go through this silver door, and come down into the basement. So this is the jail for Mendenhall Castle. And we're going to open up both the cells, but first, let's talk to this guy. Tell him that we do have the jailer's key. We'll open it up for him. And if we talk to him, he's going to give us a clue on where to find a sigil. So the soul sigil is going to be with the King of Aelfgard. So we're going to be making our way back over to Tantigal Castle. And once we're there, we're going to go actually talk to the king who had been previously missing, and we're going to get ourselves the soul sigil. Coming down into this one, if you have the spell, which you should by now, go ahead and cast a safe passage. That way you can walk across this safely, otherwise it does a lot of damage, and we are about to get into a fight, so if you haven't healed already, go ahead and do that now. So we're going to search the ground. Got another seat of agility. And then if you talk to this prisoner who looks like a cleric of some sort, it actually turns out that he's a monster. So this is a rector. Don't go ahead and don't use any magic on him. I don't burst through him, just use your normal attacks. So after defeating him, he's going to drop a chest. And that chest has the lightning staff. The lightning staff is a fairly decent item. It's a great item, though, for the Princess of Moonbrook. So it goes ahead and gives her plus 18 attack over the wizard staff. And sort of like the wizard staff, we'll be able to use it as an item in battle. So we are going to have at least one more battle. So I'm going to go ahead and actually heal up before we head out of town. And you can do these villages in whatever order you want, and you can just go hunt and peck if you want. I'm just going to go in the order that we discovered the villages throughout the game. So from Mendenhall, the next village would have been Leftwine. If you remember, there is a silver door there with a Tombola stand. I'm going to skip that and just come up to Canuck. And before we actually do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and use some of my new stat boosting items just to make some space. Alright, so some nice boosts there. I'm going to go ahead and sell off some items just to, again, make a little bit more space. So let's sell off that wizard staff. And then I'm also going to go ahead and sell off the antidote. Alright, so over here we do have the 2 cells. You could use the jailer's key, but talking to them doesn't really do anything different than just, have we just talked to them through the cells earlier. So I'm going to skip those guys. And if you come up here, there's a gold door. And there's a sage here who's, generally the sages mean some type of storyline item or some legendary item. So he recognizes us as the Scion of Erdrick, and we can claim one of our birthrights. If you open it up, it's Erdrick's shield. And at this point, only one person can actually equip it, and that is the Prince of Laurasia, the Prince of Middenhall. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we have Erdrick's shield, we have Erdrick's sword, and we also have the Mark of Erdrick. So that's 3 of the legendary items down. From Canuck, we can now head over to Moonahan, also known as, I think, Hamlin. Now, if you remember, in this town, there's this random guy just kind of chilling up here in the island. We couldn't get to him. You could have assumed that it was the access was here through this golden door. So let's go on in. And if you notice, there's 2 gremlins just kind of chilling up there. We're going to skip them for now. And first, come talk to this guy. And he's telling us that there's a shrine to the Most Holy. That's a reference to Rubus. And if we gather the sacred sigils, we'll get some help of that sacred spirit, so some help from Rubus. And if you remember, earlier we got a clue about Rubus's charm being needed to access the land of Hargon. So just another clue concerning that item. Now let's come up here, use the jailer's key, and go ahead and talk to these guys. And instead of the gremlin, it's the gremlin. Very, very clever. These guys you can use magic on, so I'm just going to use Kaboom. Kaboom should knock them out. Yep, there we go. So a real difficult battle, of course. But then if you look, they're going to leave behind the water sigil. So now we have our 3rd sigil. So if you go ahead and check your status, we have the star sigil, the moon sigil, and the water sigil. We need 5, so that means 2 more. And if you remember, the prisoner in Middenhall was pointing us to the King of Aelfgard. So now we know that if we go to Tanticle Castle, we should be able to get, I think he called it the Soul Sigil. So let's go ahead and make our way over there now. Alright, so I never actually, I don't believe I ever actually showed you guys this in the previous one, when I was here previously. But if you were to come over here to the weapons shop, and you come upstairs, you can talk to the King of Tanticle, now that we can get through there with the gold key. And just like that, he just hands over the Soul Sigil. And trying to claim that he's just a humble armorer, even talking to the descendants of Loto or Erdrick isn't enough to restore his confidence. So he's just going to be hiding out as the cowardly king, and that's okay. So if we come up here, come on in and talk to this lady. We can tell her that we're looking for whatever she's selling, telling us that she's actually out of the thread. and she's telling us that we can actually get it if we go up to, I think it used to be called the Dew Yarn, but the northernmost of the Dragon's Horns. So we're going to actually have to make our way back there. I'll do that in a separate video. I want to keep moving with the keys in this one. So before we go any further on the hunt for the keys, we're actually going to make our way, if you remember Rimuldar in the previous Dragon Quest, there was a shrine south of Rimuldar. I don't remember if we can get to it just by sailing or if we'll have to... Yeah, yep, we'll be able to access it. So this is the shrine where we had the seal of Erdrick, the raindrop, or the rain staff, and the sunstone, I think it was. They combined them, and we got the rainbow drop, or whatever it was. And this here is the shrine where that was done. Now that we have the mark of Erdrick, we can come down here, talk to this priest, recognizes that we are the Scions of Erdrick, and just like that, we can go ahead and get Erdrick's helm. So there we go. Another of the legendary items of Erdrick. Again, I think it can only be equipped by the Prince of Midenhall. Yep. And so it's plus 14 defense over the iron helmet. Let's go ahead and equip that. All right. So just like that, once again, we have the Erdrick's shield, Erdrick's helm. We have the Erdrick's sword and the mark of Erdrick. Now, keep in mind there is a warp portal up there. I'm not actually going to touch it quite yet. We're going to keep going with the keys. But just like that, we have 4 legendary items from the... I'm sorry. There's one legendary item that we're still missing, and that's Erdrick's armor. I apologize. So we got Erdrick's sword. We got the shield. The helm wasn't in the previous game. Helmets were added in this one. So I apologize. But anyways, now we're done with Tentacle Castle. Let's go to Zahan. Alright. So once in this village, if you recall, there's this damaging terrain. Go ahead and use the safe passage. And there's actually two jail doors that we previously couldn't open. Let's go ahead and open this one. And we get the subtle shuttle. And at this point, we have no idea what it is until you read it, and it talks about it's a weaver's tool worked by a gracious goddess. Well, there's one weaver that we're familiar with, Don Calico, and we know that he had no business with us at the time, but this is going to come into play with him. And also, in Tentacle Castle, we talked to the seamstress, who told us that the Dew Yarn was located in the northern tower of the Dragonhorn Towers. So we're going to need both of these items to go ahead and get a powerful water armor, but not quite yet. Let's go ahead and cross this, and I believe we're going to get a prayer ring over here. Yep, all right, there we go, got the prayer ring. And that's all there is here in the village of Zahan. We are almost done with the tracking down of items and villages and whatnot. We got one more, and that's going to be Durkandor, also known as, I think, Osterfair in previous versions. And here we're going to get a nice, powerful armor. So if you remember, in the weapons and armor shop here, there's this guy who's just walking in place, and he tells us that he's in search of the tectonic plate, and saying that there's an old man in the weapons shop in this town who possesses it. Well, if you look just right over here, there's a couple of chests in a weapons shop. However, before we couldn't actually get to them. So let's go ahead and come back through here. We're going to walk all the way around. And we're going to sneak into the weapons shop. And yes, we are going to steal from this poor merchant. And look at that! It's the tectonic plate. The guy is so close, but we're going to take it before he finds it. And we got a divine dagger that we're just going to go ahead and sell off. So now that we have that tectonic plate, where is it? There it is. I could equip it to only the Prince of Midenhall. But first I gotta move some items around. And I have no space. Great. But anyways, the tectonic plate is going to give my main character plus 12 defense. So with that, that is all of the chests and all of the business that we've been kind of putting off until we could get the 2 keys, the gold key and the jail key. So with that, in the next video, we're going to go ahead and get the or go to the northern tower of the Dragonhorn, just so we can get that last item. Then we're going to go back to Don Calico, get the new armor, and then we're going to start hunting our way through the volcanic sea cave soon after that. So with that, thanks for watching.